Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a hot mess.
Hello.
I have a guest with me. It's our wonderful friend Vicus, back again to do some Dark Souls in.
I'm waving right now. In real life.
So, little bit of background about what is about to transpire.
Mm-hmm.
This was recorded by now almost a year ago.
Mm.
So that should tell you just how eager I was to get this out and done.
To get through with this, yeah.
So you may notice, as we go through this wonderful recording, that there are some pretty significant frame hiccups.
Mm-hmm. Some minor issues.
This can be almost entirely linked to an ill-fated attempt to install Windows 10 on my personal computer.
Oh no.
For whatever reason, upon doing so, it fucked up everything.
Oh god. Yeah, I heard
But,
some horror stories, but this is impressive.
Eventually I got it fixed, but the nature of Dark Souls, along with time being convoluted, is that you can't re-record shit.
Right. Here I am, re-going through this area that I've already cleared out.
You would just sort of have to imagine all the item pickups and bosses and stuff. And at the time, I was like, okay, I need to get this out because I'm out of, blind run videos to put up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just not do this. But it turns out maybe I should have just not done this.
Right. Oh dear.
So not only does it look like shit, it's also really hard to play.
Yeah, I have to imagine that screws up your dodging just the slightest bit.
And this area fucking sucks.
Yeah. Pretty high up there for worst areas in Dark Souls 3.
So this is the Demon Ruins. The area is so good they had to use it twice.
Right. Yeah, I love that this is basically a copy-paste, just with more vines of the area that you already went through.
This is basically a chalice dungeon from Bloodborne, except it's not randomly generated. They made it this way on purpose.
Right, this was here. All of it. I didn't even remember that guy being there.
There are grew all over the damn place, and they're all a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I remember going through this the first time, and it just... Ugh.
Here is my advice to you, dear viewer. Don't do this area.
Just don't.
Just fucking ignore this place. It's awful. Kill the old Demon King. Ignore the fucking ballista. Just make a suicide run among the crabs if you have to. Just don't go here.
There's so much here, and none of it is good, and all of it is worse than the last part. I do kind of like the dead Capra demons lying around. Like, it's a nice touch. I just wish that touch was in a nicer area.
So, the idea behind this place is not bad. Like, it fits very well with the game's theme of geography overlapping and sort of crushing into itself.
Mm-hmm.
This place is sort of like, hello, friend.
Right, that.
This place is sort of like Ash Lake and Lost Izalith and the Demon Ruins sort of collapsing into each other and becoming one area. It's just, unfortunately, in the process, it became total fucking shit.
Awful. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I guess that's just what happens when you put Lost Izalith in something.
Yeah, unfortunately. There's some good pyromancy, isn't there?
Are, as always, very difficult to deal with.
Yes.
Especially when you've got the fucking Windows 10 curse going.
God, yeah, I can't dodge them normally. That guy looks creepy.
There's lava slimes here. And
right.
The only way to really deal with them is magic. They are, somewhat unsurprisingly, more or less immune to fire.
They're just like regular slimes, right? Except whereas regular slimes were killable with fire instantly, not so much here.
Yeah, you could also use lightning, but physical attacks and fire are sort of non-starters.
Right.
And given that those are like the two most common things for players to use, they're just better off avoided unless you've got magic on hand.
Basically. Unless you want to hack away at slimes like in that one corridor in the depths.
Gotta
take
get
3
those
years.
Titanite shards. It's
Oh
fine.
god, yeah. Oh right,
I'm
in this
actually-
room.
Oh god, don't even fucking talk to me about this room. I'm turning
Such
off
a
the
bad
video.
room. Just ended here in bullshit for 49 more minutes.
Oh my god. I dearly wish there was a way I could have edited this into a coherent video, but it's just not possible.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many random bullshit deaths and frame drops and everything, and I hate it.
Just all the enemies here are just awful. Some of the most annoying stuff.
I like these guys in theories, these sort of like diminished Capra demons with the pyromancy.
Right.
But the way they work with their fucking bullshit floating chaos orbs.
Yeah, they're fucking tower defense game stuff. Not so great in practice. They look cool as hell, but as soon as like 2 of those fireballs are up, throwing shit at you, this happens.
Oh dear.
I'll see you later.
The first of many.
That's fair enough.
This is a difficult room in the best of circumstances.
Yeah. Well, it's also, is there anything like that does decent damage to those things?
I mean, demons usually are fairly weak to magic attacks, so just smacking them with Great Heavy Soul Arrow is reasonable.
About as good as it gets, or at least decent.
At about this, like at this point of the game where I'm at, I don't really have access to a lot of the really good sorceries that would tear him a new one, like Soul Spear and the like. So I sort of have to make do with budget stuff.
Right, the heavy things.
Enchanting the weapon does a reasonable amount of damage. But also this happens sometimes, and it's just awful.
Yeah, and like when there's 2 of those things just shooting at you, there's no way you can fight this dude with a giant cleaver. It's just, ugh.
They are at least somewhat vulnerable to being backstabbed.
Yeah.
But they also have so much health, what the fuck? That guy was totally dead. Since I recorded this a year ago, this is, in some ways, almost a new experience for me. I had tried to... Oh my god, that lag.
Yeah, that just
I had
dead
tried
stop
to
right
wipe
there.
from my memory because it was just... I literally cried after this. I was so upset that this had come to pass.
Ugh.
The recording was awful. I didn't know how to fix my fucking computer. I didn't know what I was going to do with the thread, and, you know...
All
apparently
that
I just
stuff.
went on hiatus for a year. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's the thing about Dark Souls Let's Plays. They always take over a year in the best of circumstances.
They're long games, and sometimes shit just goes so wrong.
Yep. I should know. I started mine in, I think, Christmas of 2015?
It's like, you know, they're hard games. They're hard games, Brent.
And sometimes they just get the better of you, even when you know what you're doing.
And, you know, I'd like to say that I've done a good job still sort of keeping some content going with streams of DLC and stuff. So I'm not, like, completely down on myself for this enormous failure of everything ever. But I'm also not going to pretend that this isn't a shit show.
He ran into the fire field.
I think my reasoning here was like, okay, this isn't working. I'm just going to grab the item and leave.
Right.
No, you can't do that.
You don't leave this room here.
Sometimes you can't even properly hide behind pillars for cover because of the way the orbs are positioned.
Well, that's the other thing. They're different every single time. So, like, one thing that was cover last time can just be an open spot now. Oh my god.
I got one! Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything ever is fine.
All of this is good. That is really the
I will
thing.
eventually defeat this area. It just will take a very long time.
It'll be a
You
bit,
can skip
yeah.
ahead, and you will see I'm right. I promise.
But us, we're stuck here.
There's a reason that I brought my dear friend on here, and it's because I could not carry this for an hour.
Happy to help.
I am really glad you're here. I probably just would have turned this off by now if I was alone, because what is there really to say, like, doing just, like, my usual style of like, okay, this is the area, this is how you do it, here's some items that are cool, here's some strategies.
Yeah.
I mean,
if there's one thing I could do, it's ramble.
Don't fucking do it.
just don't.
If there's like a couple of items down here that you really want and you know beforehand, okay, you can make a beeline for them. But doing like a full clear, like I'm trying to do with all the areas in this thread, it's just...
It's a bad idea.
It's certainly possible. I'm not going to say that it's a good idea. In fact, I'm going to say it's a bad idea. But it's possible.
It can be done. It can be completed. Oh my god, just look at that! Giant health bar.
In the Crystal Sage fight, the game sort of transitions into bullet hell for a little bit.
Very briefly, and at least in that one, they, like, weren't taking away half your health with every single shot.
And it's like, you could actually just kill the decoys in one hit or so, and they were floating 5 miles above the ground.
Yeah. And the thing about this part in particular is, like, this is the introduction to the area, and you can choose to either go through these two fuckers, or however many are here, I can't even tell, or up top with, like, the 50 Gru enemies. It's just... it's awful either way.
You see how there's, like, paths out that you can take? If you're down here, just take those.
Yeah.
Don't stick it out. Don't be like me.
Oh my god, it's making another one.
And there was one back there. There is no safe zone.
How many can they even have at once?
I'm not sure there's an upper limit. I think if you let them, they will just fill the entire damn room with them until you either kill them or they eventually despawn on their own.
Oh god.
So in the game's defense, as lukewarm as it might seem at this point, there are better builds for this. A caster build is kind of difficult until you have like all the good shit at the end of the game.
Yeah, and this is sort of a bad place for it with all these tight corridors and random things shooting projectiles at you.
Yeah, like the general idea behind a caster build is that you've got some good range on you, so you can take advantage of the fact that enemies will have to close distance to you, and that sort of takes a lot of the onus off on having to actually just stand in place for a while and wave your magic stick.
Yep. Over here, you're sort of just being zoned out, really. It really does seem like downstairs is just the worst area for this build, because you have literally no advantages when those fireballs are out there.
Like, I tried Flash Sweat, didn't do shit. Not enough fire resistance in the whole damn world. I would need to, like, go back to Dark Souls 2 and get the Smelter Armor.
Right.
And do that stupid fucking cheesy Ancient Dragon strat where you Flash Sweat and put on all the fire resistance and just face tank the flames because it's a stupid fight.
Yeah, it's something to be said about a fight that was never really meant to be beaten. Of course, it's a game like Dark Souls, so I'm not sure you can get away with that.
I mean, it's like, I respect what they were going for, even if it wasn't that good.
Oh no, they're down here too!
Everything has gone wrong!
Oh no! Because this fight just wasn't enough.
It's at this point that I decide that it's time to beat a retreat. But there's still dudes up here! I don't even know where those other guys came from!
God, aren't there like 3 or 4 of them up here in a good time?
There are no good times in the Demon Room.
Oh god, that fucking poison cloud is egregious, too.
It's very big.
It's huge. Such a weird enemy design. And there's more of them!
At least there's none of the super dangerous unarmed ones up here. If there were, I would have been dead by now.
Yeah, it's sort of the funny things. If you give these guys sticks to hold, that means they can't jump on your face as hard.
They're so weird! Why would that even be a thing?
Why
would they be stronger without a weapon?
You're sort of trained to think, okay, this one is a weapon, that means it's a badass. But no. Not here.
They can also poison you.
Oh, of course they can. Do like half your health in a shot. Oh.
Out of juice.
I give them credit for making the "oh shit, I'm out of spells" animation just so perfect in these games.
It's always been a favorite detail of mine.
Oh, wait, what even?
I'm already dead! You can stop!
No, he has to be sure.
Oh my goodness. I
Wow.
promise, progress is made eventually, I just don't quite remember when.
Don't remember how long it takes exactly. This is just one of the most unfair areas in the game.
I promise that I will not just scream and yell about the game like a baby, at least until we get to the Ring City.
Right. I haven't actually played the DLCs, for the record. I've heard unfortunate things about them.
They're not awful. They're okay. For the most part. There's some good parts. There's some real bad parts. You know how we were talking about the Dragon God? Imagine a fight like that, except you're expected to do it.
Oh, good. Yeah. Because that was so fun the
Madeira
first time.
is a fucker.
Oh, dear.
I got so fucking salty about that guy on stream when I was doing it.
I'm trying to think when I did this. I probably ran through upstairs and like fell down the hole that's around on the top side. Because I did not want to deal with this room.
Somebody watching this might be saying right now, why don't you just go around? Why are you being so stubborn? And that's a good point. But there actually is an important item in this room that I want to get.
God. It's
if I remember correctly, it's an undead bone shard. Which is something you always want to get, because that makes your healing stronger.
Right. It's also like you sort of want to rush these guys down before they can get their, setup going, but you can't do that with these two. Like, they're already going to have one or two of those up already.
Like, these guys have over 2,000 HP, I'm pretty sure.
God.
It's maybe a little much.
It really is. Like, did they need that? Not really.
But I think that I finally actually defeat the dynamic duo here.
I don't know. He's making another one.
There we go. Rolf Bam wins the day. It's Dark Souls after all.
Whew.
So, finally, I can get my prize. Though it is guarded by fucking fire slimes.
Couldn't make this easy for you.
My Great Heavy Soul Arrow doesn't even kill him in one hit.
Yeah, like, everything in this area seems a bit over HP'd. And it's not necessarily something in the rest of the game, either. It's not as much.
Not until we get to some of the late game bosses, anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
But Fire Slime is not the Nameless King. It's like, come on. Give me a fucking break. But we got the Undead Bone Shard, we can now continue. We're actually in reasonably okay shape in terms of Estus.
Yeah, that part alone is already one of the worst.
We can actually admire some of the architecture here. This is a pretty cool room, because you can see statues of the Taurus Demon and the Stray Demon.
Right, just all this is some really nice setup. A lot of dead Capras. Oh, right, these things, too.
These are fortunately like the least strong Gru, the ones that go around on all fours.
Yeah, the dog-like ones. Because they can't jump,
are Dark
right?
Souls dogs, so...
Right. And then this is also a really neat thing.
Here with the Black Knight fighting demons, like the Black Knights are supposed to. It's cool. Sort of. Out of context, it's cool.
Right. If it wasn't part of this...
Oh my god, no.
Now I have to fight a Black Knight. At least you're able to lure him out over here.
I wonder if, like, a viable strategy would be to, like, intentionally free the guy and bring him in here and see if he aggroes?
That's a good question.
Because he was fighting the Gru.
Yeah, I feel like he would.
And
that would be a pretty neat touch.
Looking into if I ever go through this area again, which I probably won't. But sort of like the entirety of Dark Souls 3, there's some good ideas in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're sort of hidden behind some really weird execution.
Yeah. I'd say I like it overall, but this is definitely sort of the lowest of the low points.
Yeah, it's
in
much
this game.
easier to talk positively about Dark Souls 3 when you're anywhere but the fucking Demon Ruin.
Right.
Like, even the rest of Smouldering Lake is okay. It's
Yeah.
a neat looking area.
Honestly, like...
There are death crabs.
Yeah. Well, that sort of makes it like a fun little challenge to go through, even if you kind of do have to dodge around the crossbow and everything. Like, that part is just a neat one-off area. This part is just a slog.
There's even those little demon statues from the ruins back in Dark Souls 1, because
Yep.
this game is a sequel to that game, don't forget.
Oh, is it? I hadn't noticed. Gee, I kind of feel like every decision that was made in this area was just weird and questionable. Because even as we go through it, we're going to see more things, and they're still going to be bad.
It's a little bit long, it's a little bit hard, it's a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
The Gru in general are kind of badly designed enemies, especially the ones with the spears. Because they just sort of flail around like assholes and their hitboxes are weird.
Yeah.
Like, I had my suspicions about them for a while, but actually, in my downtime, I was looking up just videos of what other people thought about this game, and there were some people that did some fairly in-depth frame analysis on how some frames in this game are actually really fucking bad.
Right. I guess with the elongated bodies, you're already setting yourself up for trouble. Alright, this bonfire in the middle of nowhere.
It's useful, you don't have to go through the hell room again.
Yeah, yeah.
And the mini Capra demons are much easier when there's just one of them.
And in a just big open room. As long as you can get them before they start spawning turrets.
Sometimes they just do it anyway. But that does leave them open enough for them to actually just fall before it becomes an issue. So, you know, not an intrinsically bad enemy design. Just put in a situation that is intrinsically bad in that one room. That
just, yeah, it exacerbates all of the issues you might have fighting this kind of thing. As, like, the very first time you encounter it, too. It's weird. No, there's half that room in poison.
I'm definitely alive.
Somehow. The other thing about the spears...
Anything, but I'm alive.
You can sort of tell where that guy is, because he's on fire.
And there's always the ever-handy lock-on dot, so you're never truly lost if you can keep that, but...
Right.
And boy, howdy, am I rich in Titanite shards.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that, like, every enemy in here that's, like, stupidly hard and annoying, they drop Titanite shards. You need more of those, right?
Usually. So, that Izalith Pyromancy tomb... Look, you have to check,
gotcha.
Okay? You have to check. That Izalith Pyromancy tomb is one of the reasons why you would come down here in the first place. You get some nice shit from that, eventually.
Yeah, at some point. Right, because isn't it the regular pyromancy teacher can't teach it to you?
There's a very strange reason for it, that if you present that tomb to him, he's like, I can't do... no.
no, thanks.
You have to be taught from a witch, and I'm just Cornix. At least the other pyromancy tomb that he won't touch is sort of sensible.
Makes some a little more sense.
You found this in the fucking skeleton abyss. Don't come at me.
Yeah. No, I don't fuck with that. No. Seems to be a lot of rustling going on nearby.
I think that was a crab from up above.
Oh.
Because this is the alternate entrance to the Demon Ruins that you can get to if you, like, let the ballista break the floor.
Oh, right.
Like, some would say you're supposed to come in this way, but it's a fairly open-ended area for whatever that means.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. There isn't really, like, a good path through this area.
Like, you can fight the boss without ever coming down here. It's so fucking weird.
I didn't find this part on my first run-through. I
neither.
saw the boss, fought that, and left.
I thought that was like, okay, that was a little weird, but cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Short area, that's fine.
Fiesta shard is also something you want.
Even if now you have to go back through a line of slimes.
It's not out of the question to kill them with the sword, especially if you can get them one at a time. It just takes forever. They stagger and everything, so it's not like a danger, it's just annoying.
It's just long.
It's just long.
It's like, one thing that this game tends to do pretty well is that it sort of pushes you along in a direction in most areas, and like there's sort of a path you're supposed to go on.
Yes.
I have no idea what you're supposed to do here. Like, it doesn't... There's no signposting at all, because everything looks exactly the same. It doesn't really look... Like, even looking at you playing through this, it doesn't really look like there's a path that I might have thought maybe I missed when I played it.
There is sort of a path, kind of, but it doesn't really lead anywhere good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange area. It doesn't lead to a boss. Well, we'll see in a bit.
Yeah.
I think I've already inadvertently spoiled a bunch of shit for the main playthrough here, but whatever. Who cares? It's been a year. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what I'd be going, or what I'd be allowed to talk about here.
Just fucking go.
Whoa! Oh shit!
We have to come back here because there's a path we need to take, but I'm not gonna fuck with these guys. No,
we got what we came here for. Oh god, right, and like they put the bone shard right where the whatchamacallits, all of their turrets are going to be set up too.
Mm-hmm, and there's the slimes around there, so.
Yep. Yeah, the game is very much saying do that. No. Huh. That's weird.
Kartha's flame mark is great, by the way.
Hmm.
It has actually very reasonable intelligence and face requirements, so most characters can use it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just basically reusable fire paper.
Right, reusable fire sword. I don't think I used that in either of my playthroughs.
There are more enemies in this game that are resistant to fire.
Oh right, this is a neat touch.
Another really nicely executed idea down here, where there's another pyromancy tomb.
Mm-hmm. And then it's right next to this room.
One.
Oh, well, yeah, I think you're right.
I think the Izalith one is okay to give to Cornix, but this one is like, oh no,
right.
I
forgot there were two in here.
They sort of really, I mean, it makes sense because this is the birthplace of pyromancy, but they sort of really chuck in the pyromancy tombs here, especially coming off of
Oh, hello, slime.
Slimes don't care about lava. Slimes are lava.
Exactly. So yeah, because the lava walking was so much fun all the other times you've had to do it.
I mean, I gotta get the items!
Let's do it in an area where you really can't mitigate the damage very well.
There's no orange charred ring to be found here. You just gotta put on flash sweat and pray.
There's no orange ring, there's no like, in 2 with the flash sweat plus dousing yourself in water. There's
none of that
nothing.
Shit. You think this is a game for babies?
You're gonna die getting those items, and you're gonna do it. Just so many strange decisions down here. Oh, I see you've opted into this entrance.
Yeah, this bonfire, I believe, is actually a little closer to where we need to go.
Right. That's fair enough. Especially if you're just gonna run past everybody.
Are you kidding? Did you see the first 20 minutes of this video? I'm not fighting anything if I don't have to.
Just run past them yelling, I already showed you off.
I don't gotta do shit.
Man, you were taking out these rats with extreme prejudice here.
I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe at this point I was just frustrated.
I mean, fair enough.
It's not really necessary to actually enchant your weapon to take out a bunch of fucking rats, but here we are.
But hey, the one-shot's nice.
Maybe I didn't want to get poisoned, I don't know. Who can say? At least they're nice enough to put my bloodstain here instead of on the lava.
Guess there's a check somewhere in the code. Is in lava.
Though I'm pretty sure at some point I will have to get a bloodstain on lava. Like, I think it's actually up here because I'm so far away from dry land.
Right. And, like, if...
Got it! Worth it!
Even if there was, like, some land on this other side so that you could catch your breath, I'd be like, okay, sure. There's basically no way to do that without dying.
Well, on the bright side, that was a pretty cool little item. The White Hair Talisman lets you cast Miracles and Pyromancies, so it saves on an inventory slot.
Oh, that's nice. I don't think I ever actually braved that lava pit.
I mean, who fucking does?
Yeah.
I wouldn't if I wasn't on camera doing this for the internet.
Right. Is it worth all of the pain that just happened? Probably not. But we have it now.
And it's like, this is sort of what I was talking about earlier with how hard it is to edit these videos.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, if things go wrong. Because it's like, I have to put that in, even though I end up dying horribly for no reason, because I got an item there.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's gone
like,
forever.
What would the point even be if I just said, oh yeah, there was a thing there that I got, don't worry about it? It's like, I could do that, but that's kind of lazy. But then we also get this situation where I'm pretty sure my bloodstain is over there, and I don't even know what the fuck.
Yeah, you got the mercy the first time, but not so much now. Oh, look at you go.
I'm trying just because I want to see if I can get it.
just curiosity at this point.
Pick it up,
oh, you
please.
Can't even... You don't even have the time to, like, pick it up as you take drinks. Oh!
So, on the bright side, we sort of scooted them over to a more reasonable place.
Right, the classic corpse run.
The relay has sort of been begun here.
the 10-foot corpse run.
Sort of like, you know, how new players might do that with, like, if they have trouble with the red drake on the bridge in Dark Souls 1, they try to go a little bit too far, try to get their souls back, manage to get a little bit further back in, and they can finally recover it safely.
It's quote-unquote easier the next time around.
It's just, you know, when in that game you can sort of develop strategies and learn how to not lose your soul to the red drake to begin with, because you
in this
know
one,
it's
you
there.
gotta run across that fire lake. Gotta do it. Or lava, whatever.
I'm pretty sure that my play actually gets worse as this video goes on because despair starts setting in.
I can already see the Dark Souls tilt in here. I really need to get this area over with.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I see you've stopped giving up embers to it.
I mean, it's like, what's even the fucking point?
Yeah, at this point I would probably just give up.
My souls are still over there, and I need the extra help.
Also, the transparency on that ember against the lava was a little questionable.
Got him.
Okay, now inch. Ooh. Yeah!
Mission complete. We did it. We beat the video game.
Yeah, it's over now. The whole video.
We linked the fire. Don't worry about it.
I think you linked yourself to fire.
Is there a difference?
I guess not in the long run. I guess that's the thesis statement of Dark Souls 3 as a whole, really.
Alright, so with that little bit of unpleasantness out of the way, we can actually go somewhere new.
Go to the good parts of the... Maybe
go
not.
Go to the parts that don't kill you just for standing in them.
True.
I mean, for a certain degree of don't kill you.
I mean,
if you stand in here, you'll probably die.
Yeah, well, I count this room as sort of a floor is lava situation, really.
The air is lava in certain parts.
Indeed.
Which is even worse. Maybe if I kill enough rats, I'll get some humanity.
I'm sure that'd be useful in here. Oh, right, there's even a hole that'll drop you straight into lava. Forgot about that.
This is actually very reminiscent of the depth.
Yeah.
With the rats, like, leading you towards traps and stuff. Except, instead of this time, instead of going further deep into a potentially dangerous area, it's just
it's lava.
In lava and you die.
Hope you like lava, buddy.
Not particularly, actually. I could do without it.
Could stand to not have that at all, in fact.
There's also a big rat down here, but it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
Fire is quite effective against all types of rats.
Pretty much. Oh, right, and all the little baby rats.
I am merciless.
Indeed. At least you got a soul of an unknown traveler out of it.
I think the rats drop those instead of humanity.
It kind of makes sense.
There are a fuck ton of illusory walls down here.
Oh, right, this one's a double one too, right? Yep.
This is like a great hollow double deal.
Yep, and of course it leads straight into a basilisk.
They're here too, just because.
There's so much of it that I like in concept, and actually playing through it is just not so much.
On the bright side, Curse is not as devastating as it was in Dark Souls 1. Your
right.
HP is not halved upon death from dying to Curse.
Does still kill you, though.
It will definitely kill you. I actually forgot about that when I was doing the Ring City. There's some Curse mechanics in there. I briefly thought that...
that you were playing Dark Souls 2?
Yeah, it worked like Dark Souls 2, and Curse was just like, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
No, it will fucking kill you. Don't worry about it.
It's sort of funny how in, like, 1, it's like half health and kills you. 2, it lowers your health but doesn't kill you. And then in this game, they were like, actually, flip that around again.
They can't make up their damn minds about Curse.
Yeah. Well, at least you're down here. You're much less likely to fall in lava.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I mean, for now. Till you walk into the other lava area. Does Curse take this long to dissipate normally? This feels weird.
Maybe it's because my set has high Curse resist.
Possibly, yeah. I guess it is going down.
I'm pretty sure that Cornix's Garb does have fairly high Curse resistance because most Pyromancer stuff does. So it probably just means that I took up a lot of Curse buildup from the Basilisk, but could just sort of shrug it off because they had the high resist.
Right.
But since resist sort of functions as like this elongating bar...
Yeah, I get it.
Sort of a weird way to do it, but I do appreciate the visual indication. Here's another Black Knight. Do I die to this guy? I think I died to this guy.
This is a fight that's kind of... Like, I kind of like the setup for this fight. He's just chilling on the edge of a... That was really close. Like, it sort of tries to force you to fight him on this bridge here, and that's kind of a cool fight.
Fortunately, like in Antiquity, Black Knights are weak to backstab cheese.
Yeah, I kind of like how for all of the enemies that don't, they kind of kept enemies like this still like that, even if they hit like trucks.
They'll still fuck you up, though.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're just, like, running on fumes.
Yeah, after you had to put up with all the rest of this area, the end of it is sort of just like, chugging through those embers.
I mean, it's like, that's sort of the thing. When you play through the game the second time or the third time, you start collecting a bunch of embers.
Yep.
And you don't really have to use them because you're not dying nearly as often.
You get very laissez-faire about it.
Yeah, and it's like, you tend to kill bosses more quickly, so you get them back more quickly when you do die, because you get a free ember after a boss.
Yep.
And you just you get this stockpile of them, so when you run into
this
sticky situations, you can sort of chug through them if you need to.
Yeah. It was kind of a dynamic I always liked, how you just stock way the hell up on humanities until you suddenly needed all of them.
And to Dark Souls 3 credit, there is no shortcut that takes 30 embers.
Yeah! I still have to edit that video, don't I? Oh no, actually, I just realized I haven't released it, but I did finish editing a video of me killing baby skeletons in front of Nito.
That's the good shit, my friend.
I had to go through it, so my viewers have to go through it too.
I mean, it's a part of the game that's sort of weirdly memorable.
Yep.
It is worthy of documentation.
I was nice. I sped up large parts of it. Especially the part of me just running in circles for 30 minutes, as I actually slowly realized how the little skeleton babies spawned.
Mm-hmm.
And also how if you kill a bunch of them but don't grab the humanities they drop fast enough, other ones spawn in their place and the humanity despawns.
It's so fucking weird.
That was something I didn't realize until I did that on camera.
Like, now that you mention it, I vaguely remember that's actually a thing, that you need to pick them up quickly, or
because
the weird-ass spawn rules will screw you over and you
they're
don't
gone.
get the damn humanity.
Yep. Yeah, I got a few good ones on camera where I'm like walking up and then the flame just disappears. You can't even say this area is mercifully short, because it's not. Like, even knowing where to go, you gotta go through some tier 1 asshole enemies no matter what.
Goodbye.
Whoop! Straight into it.
Hey there, Sorig. I see you back there.
Hello.
That's where he really lives. He invades you in the catacombs, but you fight his body for him here.
Right.
Which leads to a really funny situation. Where
Oh boy.
You can actually summon Sorig to help you with High Lord Wolnir, but you can lead him down here.
Oh, yeah, he won't
have Sorig fight Sorig.
Yeah, I didn't realize he wouldn't leave if you went down into the Smouldering Lake. That's pretty great.
The summoning mechanics get more robust with each installment, and they become like less rigid.
Yeah.
But sometimes that leads to some really goofy shit.
Right. No one would ever bring this one guy over 2 areas just to fight his own self.
Well, somebody did, and they made a really funny YouTube video of it.
Yep. Silly From Software. Ooh, I like these rat jukes.
He's actually kind of helpful in that fight. And on New Game Plus, you could do that and dress up as Sorig, so you've got 3 Sorigs fighting each other.
Oh, goodness. How many Sorigs is too many?
Honestly, I would go with the 2. I think that more than 1 Sorig is probably more than enough.
Too much for this universe to handle. That Basilisk is still going for you, huh?
He wants it. He wants to spray his stupid curse gas and slow me down.
Yep. Another nice touch was that they sort of kept it faithful to the curse gas being a really weird projectile that they shoot out.
Mm-hmm. So I come here with a fucking plan.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. If the backstabs were a little easier, I think it would already come to fruition.
My plan doesn't work!
Oh! It almost did. Killed himself chunking on you.
This part, maybe I could have edited, but I also thought it was kind of funny in retrospect.
Yeah.
Just like, I go through all of this and this one fucking Black Knight just clowns on me.
Over and over. It's weird, because there's so much less bullshit than, like, so many other enemies in this area, but sometimes you just get in a really bad rhythm.
Like you said before, it's the Dark Souls tilt.
Yeah,
exactly. I should have stopped, like, long before this, but...
Oh, but you're committed.
I was committed. I had already made a bunch of bad decisions, like doing this at all without fixing my computer.
Mm-hmm.
In my defense at the time, I had no idea if I would even be able to do that.
Right. Thanks, Windows 10.
I rolled back to Windows 8. Windows 9 doesn't exist. Fucking Windows.
Because, of course, it makes sense.
So yeah, I rolled back. I got the whole Never 10 thing going down, and I know that some people have fine Windows 10 experiences, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It just totally fucked me up, so I decided not to deal with it.
Just no thanks. Yeah, like
I have shit with videos I need to do, and I cannot abide this memory leak frame dropping stuff.
Exactly. I got it, like, fresh installed on this, and I haven't really had too many problems with it, but having to install it over an old one is just... wow.
By the way, Force doesn't work.
Just at all?
I think I try again a couple times and hope I can, like, get through when he's not doing stuff with hyper armor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, he just has 1 billion armor on all of his attacks.
It just doesn't work!
And on Wake Up, I guess.
Black Knight is OP!
Oh my god, please nerf.
Why can't I do that? Did you know there's a Wolfring +3 in the DLC?
Is there really?
There is.
Is that a cruel
I'm
joke?
not even sure if it does anything. Like, it's got to at this point. If they made a +3, it has to do something.
But I think it's just that it makes your hyper armor even more hyper? Is that what people figured out that Poise actually does in this game?
I think so. I think that the final consensus is that certain weapons have hyper armor on them natively, and they will give you hyper armor regardless of what you're wearing. But if you're wearing heavier armor, that hyper armor is marginally better.
Hyper.
And it's just like, okay, fucking fine.
Yeah, sure.
At this point, I don't care. Just be honest about it.
And like, really, if... Whoop! Damn.
I'm alive.
Powerful roll right there. So, like, if they had kind of been more forthcoming about it, and not hidden it from players for so long, I mean, it wouldn't be Dark Souls, but at the same time, I don't know.
I don't know, it feels like this goes beyond the general Dark Souls ambiguity, because it's deliberately different from something that was in a previous game.
Yeah,
without any real explanation, and that just feels bad.
Mostly just to fuck with players who already played this way. Yeah, there's something to be said for discovering mechanics.
Next clear sword, no fucking problem.
Giant fume sword, whatever.
Now we have to do this bullshit again.
Yeah, it was so good the first time. Chris, you only have one Estus flask now.
There's, like, less lateral space to traverse. Oh good, it's a fucking ember.
This was definitely worth it.
Nah, I guess poorly. The actual valuable thing is on the other side.
Oh, of course. Why not? I guess it's the sort of thing that, like, something like power stancing you can sort of figure out as a community after a few hours of experimentation. Something like, what the fuck does this stat on my screen do? Has been a community debate for like half of a year after the game came out.
I'm still not actually sure if there has been a genuine consensus reached
on exactly what it does, yeah.
Like, people have a pretty good idea by now about how the whole hyper armor and super armor works, but the exact specifics are still sort of up in the air, I think.
It's so low level when even the like totally hidden mechanics in earlier games were there, but they were sort of graspable once you knew they were there.
People figured them out eventually.
Yeah.
And it's like, even when they were inscrutable and weird, they usually didn't do all that much.
Yeah.
Like, you get a little bit of extra item find from having humanity, and it's like, that's nice, but it doesn't fundamentally change how you play the game.
Yeah.
But it's like, when people fucking put on Havel set and they get staggered by a fucking dog outside Firelink, then what the hell is going on here?
Then what's the point? Are you still being chased by like 20 basilisks at this point?
Probably. Maybe they know good. Maybe they know well enough not to come near the lava.
That's fair.
Almost out of red bug pellets.
Hmm.
For all the fucking good they do.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure they're helping here.
Alright, I'm pretty sure that was Sacred Flame, which is like
Yes,
not
it
a
was.
good pyromancy, but it's kind of good.
It's there.
It's like a really cool grab attack. It's mostly for PvP shenanigans.
Right. I haven't done much PvP in this game. Is there a meta?
I went actually pretty hard on it during release.
Mm-hmm.
Got really fucking sick of it because it wasn't balanced at all.
Ah, of course. It's the Dark Souls way.
They eventually added like the whole undead match thing in Ashes of Ariandel.
What does that do?
Which was like a proper arena mode.
Ah,
Dark
okay.
Souls 2 had and
Right.
DLC had in Dark Souls 1.
Yep.
Never really messed with it because, like, I don't know. It feels sort of not the point to do PvP that way in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, like, not that good if you do it that way.
Yeah,
it's a lot
like
more about, like, the whole dynamic between invader and invadee.
Mm-hmm.
And using the environment and stuff. But
yeah, it was always designed much more for that, shenanigans type play rather than straight up heads up fights.
So the problem that I had with PvP in this game on release was how slanted it was in favor of the person you were invading.
Mm-hmm.
Like, gank squads were the norm.
Right, because it was much easier, whereas in 2, like, for the first month, you could never get someone else to come help you.
Mm-hmm.
Here it was...
Despite the fact that gank squads were the norm, like, the Dark Moon Covenant in this game didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, until they fixed something later on.
Mm-hmm.
But people would just summon a bunch of phantoms whenever they got invaded, or they already had phantoms when they got invaded.
And the Mad Phantoms only made it even more so.
And they could resummon them with impunity if they stuck near the bonfire or whatever, and it was like, I understand why this is here, so new players can progress through the game without getting stonewalled by people being dickheads, but also, this is really unfun.
Yep.
From the perspective of the invader, because you can very rarely win in these situations unless you have very specialized builds.
Exactly.
Like you go for a great hammer of more and cheese and you just kill everybody with Wrath of the Gods.
So I see we finally made it out of the hallway section.
Yes. Yeah.
And
we're actually back in the lake proper.
The payoff.
This is how you deal with that giant fucking ballista.
Yeah, the payoff for this is just the saddest thing, too. I remember going through this area for the first time and being like, okay, I finally got through it. I hope I at least have, like, an interesting item or something to get through. You really just don't get anything, do you?
You get bone wheel skeletons.
You get bone wheel skeletons, and I appreciate the thought, I guess, but...
Like, there's a sort of interesting story here about how, like, the soldiers of Karth... Hey, you get a fucking bone wheel shield. Don't worry about it.
There we go. Okay, it was worth it. Never mind.
There's an interesting story set up about how, like, the soldiers of Karthus, which are now skeletons, sort of made war upon a giant sandworm asshole.
For millions of years.
Evidently, never won.
Sandworm 1. Army of Skeleton 0. Damn, that guy never really stood a chance.
Executioner's Greatsword is really good against skeletons, but I'm pretty sure the saddest thing ever happens here.
Oh no. Just the triple combo. Yeah, I remember those guys having given some difficulty.
They were another enemy that I actually learned about how fucked up their hitboxes are. Like, when they do that leaping attack, they don't actually hit you with their sword. It's more like a headbutt.
Yeah, I definitely remember some fun times in Karthus with those rooms with those guys.
So, you know...
One last hurrah, maybe.
More Into the Breach. It's fine. I'm just gonna keep saying that until it's true.
Exactly. Don't worry, we got
Is
this.
it actually worth going up to deal with the ballista? And my answer is a resounding fucking no.
No, absolutely not. Like, Ballista is your friend. Ballista can kill crabs.
It's
Why would you want to turn him off?
But yeah, you can totally kill crabs with the ballista, and you can, like I demonstrated a year ago in the last video, you can kill the sandworm with the ballista. You actually have to do their fucking jobs for them.
Don't worry, just try and kill me. You'll get it eventually.
I think I literally did like a ducking emote behind like a little protrusion in the ground.
Right.
And just lined myself up so all of the arrows would hit the worm.
Yep.
And it was dead.
Oh,
That's how you
beautiful.
kill the worm.
Ah, yeah. There's also those where you're so sure they're gonna attack in, and it goes for just long enough for your roll to go through.
Tracking is a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
It was in Dark Souls 2, and you know, that's a game I really like. So I'm not gonna say this game is bad for having hyper tracking enemies.
Yep.
A little annoying though.
The lazy Susan effect is very necessary in some parts. I think they learned that lesson in 1.
The roll gets so gets progressively so much more powerful throughout
Yeah.
the games as they go on.
Yeah, the first one, like people
I've been
forget.
playing a little bit of Dark Souls 1 in my spare time here, and very much get fucked up sometimes by how
It's 4-dimensional. That's it, or 4-directional.
roll is not always your friend in that game.
No. Yeah,
like in this game and in Dark Souls 2 and especially Bloodborne, you can just roll until the fucking cows come home.
Yep. Embrace the Bayonetta style rolling in those games. Whereas in the first one, like you can roll to dodge things, but yeah. I will say they made the skeletons better.
You will get punished unless like you got the stupid cookie.
Yeah. Which was definitely a good item to put in the game.
I'm sort of sad it never made a comeback because doing stupid flips was a lot of fun.
Stupid flips was one of the best things in that game. Alright, back here at the ballista. Take 2.
We're almost done, I promise.
Yep. I scrolled over the time code at some point.
I'm not keeping you here forever, I swear. No, I'm taking no fucking chances with these assholes.
God, no.
I'm throwing fire bombs. They do no damage, but I'm doing it anyway, just so I can sort of...
Just for spite.
Cordon off their attention.
Yeah.
Pull one at a time.
That's the thing, though. Like, it's either you get in a loop like this that just murders the hell out of them, or they hit you with some ridiculous dodgy bullshit. That's like the only way these fights can go. So I think I did this with, like, twin swords my first run through. And I really enjoyed it, but sometimes with, like, especially enemies like this, you just... There was nothing I could do to fight them every so often.
It sort of speaks to, I think, like one of the underlying tensions in the design of this game, is that as time has gone on, they give you more and more weapons that are, like, viscerally cool. Like the twin swords and some of the boss weapons that let you do cool flips and shit.
Yep. I also used that one.
The problem with them is that enemies will always do that better.
Yeah. They'll have those built into their kits, and you'll have a lot less damage to take. Ah, silence.
And, well, here we go. We flip the switch. No more arrows.
And that's it.
You get to see some dead giants and feel sad, I guess.
And that's it. And it's like... Ugh. The anti-climax, like... I guess it's the perfect way to end this super shitty area in the most disappointing way possible, but... Oh, God. You don't even get an item for it.
Nope. You get the privilege of exploring the rest of the lake relatively unhampered.
Relatively quietly.
With the crabs.
Yeah, as long as you can fight crabs.
And that will be next video.
Alright.
I will fight some crabs, and I will find a friend and some items.
Well then, I'm happy to get you back on track.
I actually need... It will be the first time I actually record anything in this game in quite some time.
I know the feeling.
So that that is that. Thank you for sitting through this, everybody involved. Except me, I deserve it, but
Thumbs
to
up.
my co-commentator and my viewers, thank you very much. And I think that just about does it. Praise the sun.
Praise that sun.